The June 23rd, 2025 Ohio County Board of Education meeting is hereby called to order at 6 p.m. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag of our country. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Welcome. Glad everybody was able to find our makeshift venue, and thank you to the city of Wheeling for making it available. Dr. Miller, would you care to give us the superintendent's information?
Yes, just wanted to update the board that have lost everything at the central office building. We are currently working, getting rid of all of our materials that have been ruined. The board office as well. They're cutting walls out. Our workers from Haddon have done a fantastic job getting everything out quickly, packing, storing our things, moving. Uh, so that piece we're still working. The central office is now located at Seed Rod Elementary School, and we are very grateful for the city of Wheeling for allowing us the opportunity to have our board meeting this evening. I also want to take a few minutes to thank our community. It's a very devastating flash flood that has had impact on our community that's going to last for a very, very long time. So I'd like to utilize my superintendent minutes. I asked Mr. Rick to come and share the story at Elm Grove Elementary School and the wonderful things that stepped to the plate on the spot. Didn't second guess it, opened up the doors, did a fantastic job. So I asked Mr. Dunlap if he can come and share things with the board.
You want to go to the microphone, Rick? Okay, but I don't think Bethlehem will hear that teacher voice.
So last Saturday evening, when all the flooding was going on, I was listening to the fire department radio, and at that point, I realized that they needed emergency shelter set up immediately. I had texted Chief Blazer and Sheriff Croft and asking them if they wanted me to open the school up. Sheriff Croft got back to me immediately and said, "Open it up." So I headed down there. You guys might know I can walk to the building. So I was there within 10 minutes. And before I was even in the building, I had tons of people texting me. So many members of the community were there helping us that evening. And it wasn't, I probably wasn't down there 20 minutes or so. And next thing I hear was they needed buses. So I was on the phone with Mr. Crum, contacted him. He arranged for a bus driver to help out. And that was Mr. John McLeod. He was transporting people from the community, from the Subaru, Volkswagen place, that area, back to the school. We took in at the school 25 to 30 people that evening. We also had several people in the parking lot who were hoping to find relatives that were missing. A lot of things, like, you just don't realize what you have to prepare for when you're doing this. Like, we had several people who were on oxygen tanks. The oxygen tanks were running low. We had several dogs come in that we had to figure out what to do with their dogs. We took our PTO Gaga pit and made dog kennels outside with the Gaga pit. But it was just amazing, the community that stepped up. Next thing I know, we're grilling hot dogs. We got a popcorn machine going. We got people coming in covered with mud. We're feeding them. But so many people stepped up. Chris Horn, my PTO president, was right there with me the whole night. A lady by the name of Natalie, who lives out the creek, she's a counselor at Blair Elementary School. She was a big help to me that evening. She was keeping track of all the names. We probably had at least 5 people stay there all night. And in the morning, we arranged for them for breakfast through McDonald's, which donated breakfast. And then we were trying to locate family members to be able to come pick up those people who took shelter there. It was a long, tiring night, stressful night, but there was many people in the community, like I said, stepped up, helped out. And that continued all through Sunday, people bringing stuff in. Next thing I know, my counselors are there, Carly Phillips, Heather Hines, Marley O'Donoghue, our CIS, and then we had a plan for the rest of the week to take in donations and distribute them. what we found throughout the week is people couldn't get to the school to get what they needed. So my PTO president and Chris and other people, they were making deliveries out to the community. Um, Katrina Lewis, Mrs. Lewis from Middle Creek, and Mrs. Vizzini from Middle Creek, they were both there. Um, Mrs. Lewis, what she saw last week, I can't imagine. She was out there in the community helping everybody out, actually going out on the back roads and checking on their families. Middle Creek Elementary school got hit, population got hit hardest, and Mrs. Lewis was out there doing a fantastic job. But we were able to make contact with several of our students whose families were impacted by the flooding along Peters Run and Overbrook area and Cadillac Avenue and all those areas. We have checked on all them.
Thank you, Mr. Dunleavy. Leadership is to be applauded. Please pass that on. Also, would like to share, mention Katrina Lewis, Michelle Bauer. These people are employees, are counselors that provided counseling that families actually call. Mrs. Butine set up ways to meet with our counselors from the high school, middle schools, to provide good counseling with those families. So it's very sad that we are in this position, but very proud we have so many people, so many of our people that came together for our community. So
I'd also like to add that Eric McFarland, our school security officer, he was with us all last week, and him and Mr. Horn, they were actually out there delivering stuff to people. And even Thursday and Friday, they were delivering water and power aids and stuff to the community. Dana Allum, one of the bus drivers, he worked every day at the school helping out. So a lot of people really stepped up and helped us out.
thank you. Also, a special thank you. We have several students and players that are in sports, middle school, high school kids that have gone out and they've volunteered. And I think that builds their character to go out and help the community in this manner. So Mr. Dunleavy and several others have really stepped up and made Ohio County schools good because they put our kids and families first.
Thank you, Mr. Dunleavy. Any questions for Dr. Miller on her superintendent's information? All right, we'll move on to item 3 of the agenda, which is the Moments for Mission. Molly, would you kick us off?
Sure. Thank you to Mr. Dunleavy for sharing tonight and for everything that you did, and Dr. Miller, you and your team, the services you're continuing to provide for our community. It's really important. It was obviously a very difficult and heartbreaking last several days in our community. Homes, businesses, property loss, but most devastating, the loss of life. So, sorry. I personally have been holding those people in prayer and will continue to do that. I want to thank all of the first responders, emergency management teams, etc., who've been working in our community around the clock, people who've come from out of town, National Guard, etc. I just want to highlight a couple of organizations that people in the community can go through if they want to personally assist, to be like the boots on the ground and hands and feet. OV Mutual Aid is a local organization of just local people who are gathered. They are organizing out of the Toy and Train Museum, and I went through them this weekend to go out and volunteer, and it was really simple. You just show up. They have everything you could possibly need. So you can find them on Instagram, but they just make it easy. So you could give 1 hour, you could give an entire day, whatever you want. Samaritan's Purse is here, 8 Days of Hope is here. Those are 2 national organizations that have a ton of experience with these types of disasters in communities, and they bring in an entire organized mobile unit of people and infrastructure and supplies. So they are staging out of the Newbridge Church Wardens Run campus. So if you're interested in working with one of them, their information is on the Newbridge website, and I encourage community members to try to find ways they can reach out and help those people in our community who need it right now. I also encourage people to take the long view on this. It's been 9 days, I guess, but it's going to be months of recovery for people. So don't forget, if you weren't impacted, don't forget, but keep seeking ways that we can help the people around us. That's all.
Thank you, Molly. Ann?
I'd just like to say the love, the humanity, the kindness. I mean, Brooke County, Marshall County, states, South Carolina. I mean, this has impacted so many people. But thank you for your help. Thank you.
Thank you, Andy.
I be reflected also. Thank you, Molly and Ian, for your comments. I think everybody on this board was affected by this flood. I personally, my grandmother rescued her when she was on National Road, Route 40, and the irony was she got there just in time because the water started to rise, and my grandmother on the back porch said, "Granny, look, the water's coming. We better get out of here." So they jumped in the car and left. And left, there was about a foot of water on top of the car. So they kind of beat it out in pretty short order. But my Addie was a little bit tardy. By the time the water washed over the hood of the car, she texted me and she got the tires scared. And it was crazy. Just the car started to get out. She was able to exit Chapel Hill Road. And thank God, because she probably would have been so everybody here is feeling it. It's an emotional thing for all of us. Mr. Dunleavy, I couldn't be proud of you. Represented the Hyde County Schools, represented the Dunleavy family, and we appreciate all the effort into being there for our community. And it's people like this that are part of the Hyde County Schools, and we're very proud to have them. Also, I really think it's awesome counselors are down at Bridge Street. I think providing that information, people probably aren't going to really need the counselors at the moment. They may not feel they need the counselors now, but maybe down the road after they kind of settle in, they're going to see, hey, I need to talk to someone. So it's going to be rough and free and everything. So God bless America. God bless our county schools. God bless Hyde County community.
Thank you, Andy. Bernie?
Yeah, Mr. Dunleavy, I actually talked about you today. I was talking about everything that happened, and certainly I echo what everybody else said, but I specifically talked about you today and how, as a school system, we're here to educate, but it's so much more now, whether see Ms. Griffin in the crowd, we're feeding kids, but I was talking about you because I too was actually in Toledo, my daughter's house, but we had friends who were on Peters Run who turned around and raced down and headed the wall of water and almost got caught. So, I sent me a video. It was like amazing, but horrifying. Actually, not amazing. But I heard when the school was opening up and later on buses were coming, and I just wanted to thank you because there's so many people that in that moment are helpless. My parents lived on Duquesne Avenue for years, and in was it 03 or 04 when I was here, I dove off their front porch and swam up the street. So scary. So, and this was 1,000 times worse than that. So, I just want to thank you personally. I think that's fantastic, and it does speak to, it's what the school system's about now. It's not just educating, but it's taking care of families and taking care of the community. So, that's it. Thank you.
Thanks, Bernie. Our community, Ohio County, supports Ohio County schools through bonds, through excess levies. And last weekend showed that Ohio County school supports our Ohio County community. I'd venture to say, Rick, that you didn't have to ask anybody to show up to help. It's just what we do. We see somebody in need, we help them. That will continue. And couldn't be more proud to be on this board with this group of people. And we will continue to help this community that's hurting and help them recover. And I hope as a community, this continues to bring us closer. In light of all of that tragedy and the heroism that went along with it, I do have some good news, which is, if you recall, Senator Weld had said he was going to make a run at asking for some, it's called the Local Economic Development Grant Assistance. to support, our Veterans Memorial. And Senator Well worked with the governor's office. I have a letter from Governor Morrissey presenting us a check for $22,000. So, Karen, thank you for your work on that. I would give it to Dr. Miller, but I think I should give it to Mr. Bennett so it gets properly deposited and spent. Along those lines, I also received a letter from the West Virginia Department of Education indicating that they're mandated to look at our audit and that there were no findings. Mr. Bennett, thank you. That is an absolute testament to your hard work and your dedication to making sure we stay out of jail. Personnel, item 4, Dr. Miller.
Yes. Number 5 needs to be altered to state Elm Grove Elementary only, and please remove item number 13. And finally, I would like to welcome Heather Weiss as she's being recommended for position 220-day secretary assigned to Madison Elementary School, and all other personnel as presented.
Thank you, Dr. Miller. Are there any questions relating to the personnel? Hearing none, may I have a motion to accept the personnel as presented by Dr. Miller? I have a
Second.
first, I have a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, may I have a motion? May I have all those in favor please signify by saying aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Reports and follow-up actions, number 5 on our agenda. Mr. Jones, do you have anything for school safety? All right, no school safety. Item 5.2, bid the child nutrition produce, Mr. Bennett and Ms. Griffin.
We had our produce, which is normally a year with 3 renewals, and then on June 10th, 2025 at 11 a.m. This is an estimated amount. Ms. Griffin estimates how much she's using throughout the year, and the organizations put down their bid per item. The winning bidder was Montgomery's with the estimated amount of $1,574,460 per year. Funding for this comes from the National School Lunch Grant, and what that doesn't cover general current fund covers, and a motion is needed.
Okay, any questions for Mr. Bennett?
How much is, oh, sorry. Okay, how much is covered by the National School Lunch Grant of that total? Is your question?
It really just depends on how much we sell. If we do breakfast and lunch, of course, breakfast is more money, so if we sell more breakfast, it doesn't cost as much to use.
When you say you sell, serve?
Sure. So it just depends on what the numbers are. You have to have the food up front,
Mm-hmm.
so then that'll, of course, is paid out of general funds, and then we get that money back from federal government as
So typically, like in the past, how much did we end up, just as a percentage, even how much came out of our general budget?
Normally, we have to balance the chunk. So I don't do it based on alone. It's as a whole. We put in somewhere around $1.5 million to chunk. And that's including, this is middle supplies.
Okay. Okay.
Transportation costs, gas, transporting food. That isn't all in.
Okay.
So how much of the 1.54 would you expect to get back? 80%, 90%, 20%?
Yeah, I'm trying to think about what we normally get back from. I'm gonna guess 60%. That would probably, like, if 1.5 would probably be 1 million. But I know last year we said it's about 800,000.
Okay.
So this is an estimate.
Were you surprised there were no other bids?
Yes,
Yeah.
it was. I wasn't. There were other companies that knew about it but did not submit. And we've been working with Monterey, so.
Okay.
Excuse me, that was the only bid?
Yes, that was the only bid.
Thank you.
Any other questions for Mr. Bennett on this particular item? Hearing none, Dr. Miller, is your recommendation we accept this bid?
My recommendation.
All right, may I have a motion accepting Dr. Miller's recommendation to accept the Monteverdi bid of $1,574,460 for produce for the National School Lunch Grant? And
So moved.
All right, so I got
Second.
I got one, I got two. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all of those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All right, on to bid child nutrition dish machine.
Yes. So we had the bid on June 17th, 2025, which was a little bit of a hectic day, but so we moved the bid to 1 o'clock. Myself and Ms. Griffin were in attendance. And the winning bidder was National Equipment Company at $92,054. Once again, the funding will be from both the National School Lunch Grant, that's the money that's filled in, and the General Current Expense Fund. And they were also the only bidder. But the machine meets specs, which is what we really need. So, and if you get on the market, like, the internet, it's
So
fairly close.
what does a $92,000 dishwasher look like?
That-
Yeah.
The only school that we have in is Hadley Mike Park High School, just because of the sheer number and, food that's being prepared. And back from the out of school, sanitize clean and sanitize.
So it has a sanitizing function. Okay.
Is it a straight line or racetrack? Straight line.
Hobart. The Hobart brand. They call it the Hobie.
All right. You guys
I
seem
used
to
to
be
work in a
familiar
restaurant.
with
Yeah.
any questions for Mr.
Absolutely.
Bennett relating to the bid? Okay, may I have a motion? Oh, well, Dr. Miller, do you recommend we accept this bid of $92,054? All right, Dr. Miller. May I have a motion accepting the recommendation by Dr. Miller to purchase a $92,054 dish machine from National Equipment Company?
So moved.
Got a first?
Second.
Got a second? Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Item 5.4, workers' compensation renewal. Mr. Bennett?
This is actually one of my most exciting things that I have to bring to you. We're asking to reapprove ENCOVA insurance for our workers' compensation next year in fiscal year 26. The total policy premium will be $347,436, which is $40,000 less than it was in the current year, and $80,000 less than it was in fiscal year 23. I know Glessner, Wharton, and Andrews, our agent, works very hard with myself, Mr. Crum, Ms. Nolte, trying to make sure that our losses are kept at a minimum. So this is a true testament to the hard work. I know when I first started, our workers' compensation premium was around $500,000.
Wow.
This is where we were excited to bring this for through.
So what's our EMOD?
It was 1.04.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, 1.04.
Down
And our agent that we work most closely with, Mike Robinette, he's pretty sure that if we continue to have another good year, maybe next year we might see it below 1. So that's
What do we attribute, that success to?
We've really been working hard on limiting the people who do have injuries, finding them alternative ways to contribute.
Wow.
That's,
I'm glad you didn't leave that at eliminating them.
no. Just eliminating the need for them to remain home, because often they might not be able to do their job, but they can contribute in some meaningful way. And our administrators have been great about working and finding those opportunities.
And Susan and others provided training for employees to prevent accidents accidents and all slips. And recently was at a conference and in COVID there speaking about how wonderful, how great. So you all commend what you're doing with our staff and our people.
And co- and Kova readily offers classes, and that's something that Miss Nolte, Mr. Crum take advantage of, and those are things that will help the premium then as a result. So
Online trade.
Yep.
I know Renee has them come work with our cooks. So and we have quarterly meetings where we analyze where we're having accidents, and then we kind of put trainings into effect to help bring them down.
Well, that's outstanding. Dr. Miller, do you recommend we accept the Encova insurance contract for workers' compensation premiums at $331,075? Well, total premium is $347,436.
Absolutely.
May I have a motion to accept Dr. Miller's recommendation to accept Encova workers'
moved.
premium?
Sorry. I thought you were done talking.
No, that's fine.
Go ahead.
So I've got a first, may I have a second?
Second.
Got a first and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All right, we're zipping right through it, guys. 5.5 Siemens automation contract. I see Mr. Crum is listed there, but I think being on the agenda, he left the country. So I'll kick us off, which is we've had multiple discussions related to Siemens and trying to understand, what is the best use of our county's resources for our HVAC as it relates to its maintenance and relating to its automation process. And we've been with Siemens for a number of years. I think everybody would agree that Siemens provides a platinum standard service. But many of the board members, me included, and most of the board members said, okay, but what do we have that to compare it to? I had a chance to meet with one of our community members that used to own an HVAC company. And it's not that simple because when you have the automation side, the control side versus the maintenance side, there's sometimes discrepancy in what you can do. I left that conversation recognizing that there may be some savings, but I didn't feel comfortable that we know enough to just pull that trigger to say no. And so I've been working with Dr. Miller and working with Siemens to try to get some additional information. And so Dr. Miller went back to Siemens and said, look, what can you do with us on the price this year? You came at us at $636,000. Can you cut us a break? And Siemens came back at $615,000 for this upcoming year. And it's a $21,000 savings in this year in order to try to keep the business. Again, my thoughts are it's difficult to not accept that, not knowing what's behind that door, because we don't have those alternatives to look at. I think we really work hard early going into next year to try to say, hey, what are the different alternatives as far as having a different provider or just a time and material and lining it up. But Dr. Miller, do you have a recommendation for the board? I mean, are you recommending that we accept the reduced cost that Siemens provided at $615,000?
My recommendation is for the board to accept Siemens automation contract with the new numbers that were provided.
And so just as we go in every other order, Molly, you want to provide your thoughts on that as we just, I'd like every board member to add some thoughts and then we'll put it to a vote.
Sure. I'm glad to see that Siemens did come back with a lower price as a result of our pushback. So that is some of the progress that I was looking for instead of just having the contract presented and just agreeing to it. So I'm glad that they were able to kind of rework things and come back to us with that better price. I know that Ohio County Schools has been very happy with the level of service that we've gotten from them, and that's great. They've provided good service. My position remains unchanged really since over the last year of having these discussions. Um, Being happy with the contract or with the service is one thing, but we still have no competitive pricing to compare this contract to. It's essentially an unnegotiated contract for over $600,000. So I just don't, I can't get behind it. I don't feel good about it. So I don't know if we can negotiate a better deal or not, but I think that's the whole point. We don't know. We don't know if there's a better deal to be had because we haven't found any competitive pricing to compare it to. So I would say going forward over the next year, I would like to see a commitment to seeking out some kind of competitive pricing and actually negotiate the contract. And maybe we come out around the same price. We don't know, but at least we'll feel like we've done our due diligence and understand that we're spending our community's dollars in a way that is responsible and that we are not paying more than we should.
Thank you, Molly. Ann, do you have any thoughts on this one?
As I've said before, working for Ohio County Schools and dealing with Siemens, I do know that they provide us with the top of the line as far as what I can see. I'm not the sharpest knife in a drawer, but I do feel that for what all that Ohio County has in 14 buildings, I believe.
18.
18 a total? Okay, I'm sorry. I thought 14, but 18 even. I mean, the size of what we're asking them to take care of, and they're just right on. I think it's a wonderful, and it's wonderful that they did give us a $21,000 break in it, and thank you for pushing for that. But I think I really believe we're on the right track with Siemens.
Thank you, Ann. Andy?
I really like the tack that we're taking now. I think that's an appropriate path. It's hard to make a decision about not renewing a contract when you don't know what the alternatives are. And that was kind of what I was kind of stressing. I wanted to see, well, what are the man hours being put in? What kind of options do we have there if we go in different directions? Is it actually going to cost us more money? So I think, Mr. President, I think that's the way we need to go. We can give them this. Are we asking for a 1-year contract or 2?
That's all they can give us is one.
Just the 1 year? Okay, so then after 1 year, we can take a look at that. And we can go fishing, see what else is out there, see what other people have to offer. I know that they had mentioned in their correspondence with us that they do incorporate and use people in the valley. In Siemens to come to the buildings, etc. But let's see what else is out there. Let's explore our options. That's always the wise thing to do.
Thank you, Andy. Bernie?
Yeah, I mean, I have concerns. You know, I mean, I'm no stranger to the commercial HVAC world. Large air handlers and boilers don't scare me. I think it's a contract that we're voting on that we have not seen any alternatives. I'm a big fan of competitive bids, so I just think we could do better.
Thank you, Bernie. The final point I'll make is with where we are timing wise, I'm quite uncomfortable to be out of contract. I don't like gaps in insurance and I don't like gaps in contracts when they're service related. Consequently, I'm more comfortable going with what we know. Ann actually has had experience working with them. Sounds like you are impressed with the level of service. Mr. Crum has always supported Siemens with the level of service. So with that discussion having ensued, we have a motion to accept Dr. Miller's recommendation to accept the Siemens service contract. Technically, it's 25 to 27, but we'll look at it again next year because we only can do it for 1 year. But the two prices are $615,000. If we were to move forward next year, it would be $625,000, which is a total savings of over $50,000 over the 2-year period. So may I have a motion to that effect?
So moved.
I have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
I have a first and a second. And does anybody else have further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Andy, what was yours?
Aye.
And you were an aye, and
Aye.
I was an aye. All those opposed?
Nay.
Nay.
So, all right, so we have 3-2 vote. It passes by a vote of 3-2. Thank you, everyone, for your comments and your thoughtfulness on that. That's not an easy one. Okay, moving to the consent agenda. Other than paid bills, does anybody want the budget supplements pulled off?
I would.
So we're going to pull off 6.2 and 6.3. Molly, you want to kick us off with the budget supplement and transfers?
Sure. Can we just go through what each of them, what the source is and what the money is going towards?
The source for all of them is the West Virginia Department of Education.
Okay.
So, I mean, that's 90% of the budget supplements. The policy 2510 is for the Foundations for Higher Quality High School Programming Best Practices. That is a new policy that is in effect. It's training, as it says. That's coming from the Department of Ed. There's a conference that they are reimbursing us for that we have employees going to called Unite with Numeracy. The WPHS demonstration high school grant. This is similar to another one of these that came through earlier this year, where they some departments, or I'm sorry, some high schools will be sent to Wheeling Park High School for we're giving them an example to go off of because of the great things that Wheeling Park High School does.
So what? I'm sorry, just before you go off of that one. So that's $25,000. It
Correct.
says 10,000 supplies, 15,000 supplies. So what kind of supplies are we buying to demonstrate? What are we demonstrating?
I mean, we're bringing people in, so that's got a cost that comes with it. I mean, Ms. Taylor would have a better idea of what those supplies are, but it does have a cost with it. So, but that's why they're giving us the grant. So, and then the National Board Reimbursement Grant, that's we get a reimbursement for anybody that completes their national board through the state. So that's what that is.
Thank you.
Yep.
Anything else, Molly?
No.
Anybody have anything else as it relates to the budget supplement and transfers?
Oh, Miss Adderhall, the
Yeah.
part of the supplies also is vocational because they go around the vocational department. So that,
So do we buy more items in the CTE? Like I don't understand what these supplies are. It's okay. I mean, I know we're getting the money for it, but I'd be curious to know. Are
Yeah, I
we
mean,
getting new things that we didn't have before that are going to be
no,
used for our
nothing-
students?
No, not
So
for
it's
our-
nothing like that.
Yeah, no,
So
no,
so
it's
what
not-
is it?
Yeah, like I said, the Miss Taylor would be a little bit more knowledgeable about what exactly those supplies are.
What, yeah, I'm
Yeah.
very curious.
Yeah.
Because we could use that to actually get like cool stuff for
I
our
don't think
school
that's-
it's reusable.
I'm not sure that's the point of the grant.
Okay,
But yeah.
thank you.
Yep.
All right, moving on to paid bills. Bernie, did you have any?
I mean, that's normally a month. Sorry? It's normally around a month. Yeah.
Yes, 224-134 and 224-151 appear to be resurfacing.
Mhm.
Would be better if we had one vendor.
Well, we have put them out to bid before. These are a little bit staggered in their timing, so that's why. But they also do a verbal quote or written quote. If it's above 10,000, then they'll do a written quote where we request those quote numbers. We've done that in the past.
Okay.
Where we have done like we've had 3 gyms that we've put out to bid. But like I said, in this case, they were all in 5. So
Do they normally do that? Do they normally do that reconditioning like during the summertime when
Yes.
that's probably part of it too.
yes.
Andy, you have anything on a paid bill?
No, sir, I do not.
Ann,
No, sir.
Molly?
I have just a couple. Check 224132, Latimus Security, $157, but WPHS pull data from gate. Just curious about what that is. Does that have to do with the metal detectors, maybe? It says pull data from gate. No, Steve seems to know.
It was a video. They had to pull a video from one of the cameras.
Oh, okay. Okay, so for 157.50.
It was 157.
Yeah. Okay, then the two checks to Dinsmore are the 224139. One of them says for legislative update for $2,500.
Yes,
Just-
so that was Mr. Jason Long that came up and did a legislative update for our end of year principal training.
Okay.
There's really only 2 people in the state that can handle
Mhm.
that kind of legislative update through just education. Just him, and Mr. Super from
Mhm.
Rice. So I guess that. So yeah,
Provides
that was
information
yeah.
for
Okay.
WVSA conference to the super- so.
Jason does. Oh, okay. Yeah. So like at the school board association meetings, we have Bowles Rice and Howard Seifer presents the same thing to school board members and superintendents and whoever else is there. So.
Normally the treasurers conference they have Mr. Super, but
Yeah.
Mr. Long does a fantastic job.
Do we have him come up annually, like after each session?
Yes.
Okay, good. Check 224146, Pathway to Careers, $4,275. PC2 Math Student License and Professional Development Virtual. Just curious what that is.
Let me look it up. This is a virtual program that included in-person professional development. That was, it included on-site professional development for the program that then the students will be able to use for math catch up. If you will.
So the creator or the representative from the creator of the program came to a school or
Yes.
schools and
Yes.
provided training.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. And then the last ones are just the Siemens, the 3 Siemens checks, 224163 through 165. Mr. Crumb's not here, so maybe we don't know the answer. But are these what contracts would these fall under? Are these things that just weren't included in existing contracts, or what are they?
No, these do not. They're not in any of the contracts. Just
Okay.
because otherwise it would be part of the contract.
Okay.
But the partial payments due to the fact that that it's all retainage that we held back, so not a whole lot left over. 6% on all of those. And I mean, as you can read there, the reader is a scanning device for our key cards to get in and out. Special ed camera placement, and then a Wheeling Park High School camera placement. I mean, I think we don't have cameras involved in any of our contracts,
Okay.
so that's why those would be separate.
Okay, thank you. That's all.
I just have one other, Steve, which is check 1240, which was a U.S. bank for $33,000, of which $31,436 had something to do with the robotics
Mhm.
program.
Yep.
How much of that came out of our general fund versus what they raised?
They raised it all.
I'm sorry?
They raised every bit of it.
That's fantastic. So they raised $31,000 to support those kids in that program. So
Yeah.
hats off to the folks that work hard for our robotics program, because it's turned into be, the platinum program within the state. So great stuff.
I actually have one more that I forgot about. Sorry. Check 1293. That's for the roof at Wheeling Park. What's the status update on that? Is it done? Not good. Weather? Okay. But we've already made a payment?
Yes, I mean that's about a little more than a quarter
Okay.
of the contract, and of course they do installment billing, so they billed us for the first quarter of it, and we needed to get it on there too, so that we could send that part to the SBA to be reimbursed.
Okay. That's all. Thank you.
All right. There are no delegations this evening. Board member comments. Molly,
I have nothing further. Thank you.
Ann,
I have nothing, thank you.
Andy.
Okay, Mr. President. Last year at this time, I was in a discussion with you about the appraisal that we have to do and put online. It's through the Department of Education. And you said you had mentioned to me, well, aren't you going to do that again this year, Andy?
I
I guess I could do it
remember
for
you
you.
volunteering.
Well, what's that?
I thought you volunteered.
No. My arm was being twisted big time. But yeah, I'll go ahead and do that under one condition, board members.
They actually
went-
do it.
They have to get back to me ASAP. I don't want to wait 3 weeks or 4 weeks.
Well, there's that.
When I send that out, I want to get it done.
I think
Is
there's
that a deal?
a link. What
Yeah.
you did didn't work. You have to make it your own,
Yes,
and Andy knows how to do
I
it.
know how to do that.
So Mr. Garber's taking one for the team.
Yes, I
He's going
am.
to circulate it so we can do our own evaluation that can be reported back to the State Board of Education. Thank you, Andy, for agreeing
You're
to
welcome.
do that. Bernie, Joyce, thank you.
yeah.
This is her last official day here with
Oh,
us.
Joyce.
So thank you for traveling with the team today, and look forward to maybe seeing you on occasion when you're substituting in. Thank you for all of your service, your commitment to the job and to our schools. All right, future meetings. Monday, July 14th will be a regular meeting at 6 p.m. Where? We don't know. Hopefully, this venue will remain available, but we'll check with Mr. Heron to see about that. Monday, July 28th, 2025. And again, that will be to be determined. We'll let folks know as soon as we know. There being no further business before the board, this meeting is hereby adjourned at 6:46 p.m.